Yeah, so let's break down into character creation. I say to myself in the future, creating a header. But yeah, we can start with your scientific specialties. So for this game, you guys are definitely first and foremost scientific experts in your field. I think when I originally pitched this, before I dove into it too much, I was kind of leaning more on the, you have a soldier protector and the science geek who's actually going to solve the problem. But I think the game is intended to be played and will be more interesting if you are both scientific experts in your field that that have been given a certain amount of survival and conflict training.
Okay, so apparently I am a geochronologist,
Geochronologist.
Geochronologist. Yep.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up as to what that actually means.
Yeah.
You look at rocks and say, this one's old.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Look at another rock, you go, this one is older.
This one is really old. And my character's name is Sabastian Undermoon.
Sabastian Undermoon and Sampson Daring.
Okay. Dr. Daring and Dr. Undermoon.
Yep. So, are you requiring a roll on the specialty?
You can choose, or you can roll. It's up to you.
Okay. I am deciding between anthropologist and xenobiologist.
I can see all of these being relevant in some way. Obviously, what you pick is going to influence, what you guys get up to and how I throw things at you. But there's definitely already built into the game ruins of an ancient civilization, so an anthropologist would certainly have things to look at. And there are signs of life down there, so any sort of biologist could get into some interesting stuff.
To be fair, I did go to school for social work, which has a lot of anthropology built into it, so I'm kind of leaning towards that. Although xenobiologist does sound more interesting.
And there's also going to be plenty of old rocks, so
there's got to be a lot of old rocks for you to go, this is an old rock. This one right here.
Geochronologist, like I said, they can all be useful.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with geochronologist. I can't even say it.
This is your language, Tal. Come on.
Geochronologist. That is me.
All right. Let me actually take some notes here. So we got Dr. Undermoon. What were you going with?
Sabastian Undermoon.
Sabastian Undermoon.
And Sampson Daring.
Dr. Sampson Daring. I like that. And Undermoon is a geochronologist. And Dr. Daring is our
anthropologist.
All right. But these are the fields in which you are an expert in. But and I'm assuming doctorate level and beyond. Like, you are experts in your field. You are the guy that the Substratum Protocol went to when they needed an anthropologist or a geochronologist. So I assume in your study of all of that, you have likewise dabbled in other areas as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's see. So many windows open. All right, so we got your names, we got your scientific specialty. So you both will start with 8 stress capacity, and you can look down further in the book as to what that means, but that's basically your combination of both health and sanity.
Okay.
Skills. Let's move down to skills. So there's the 6 skills: your make, dash, evade, break, think, and sway. So you have a D10, a D8, and a D6 to assign. The other 3 skills are going to be stuck at a D4.
Well, I think my think is going to be a D10. Clever guy.
D8?
Trap, repair, and build.
D6?
Evade.
I'm gonna be the fucking face again. Okay. I mean, kind of makes sense. If you're an anthropologist, you should probably know how to talk to people. I know that's not exactly always the case, but
we're scientists. We don't need to have social skills, do we?
you don't need them, I guess. But so my sway is going to be my D10. I think my dash is going to be my D8. And the question is, do I want to do evade or think is my D6?
There is also the option your character can always have a baseline 2 stress, and in exchange you can turn one of those D4 into another D6. But it means that your minimum will always be 2 stress.
Yeah,
out of,
I did
out
think
of,
about
out of
that.
8.
Think about that. I thought, no.
Think I should do it, Tal? You think I should play the devil's bargain?
Yeah, go on.
All right, I'll do evade and think at D6 then.
All right. D6. And you said think?
Yep. So my break and make are going to be D4s.
Okay, so that is all of our skills, and it looks like you guys are quite well covered there. So now, a starting item. You can find this on page 17 if you are following along. But there is a chart of 20 possible starting items. You can roll, you can choose, or feel free to just suggest something. But your character has space for 3 major items. And these will be things that you use for a very specific purpose that are going to give you advantages. You're always assumed to be able to carry. You can always sort of pull out or 3D print as need be smaller items, but larger, more specifically useful items will fall into that 3-item bin you got.
Is there a way for me to get an item that can analyze languages? Some sort of universal translator, for example.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that would be super useful for an anthropologist.
Well,
And you say you had... Go ahead, Tal.
Sorry, I rolled on the table and I've got a hydraulic lifter.
Okay.
Some of those rocks, you've got to really get in there and lift them out.
That's true. Some of those old rocks can get pretty big.
You said we get 3 items?
You start with 1, but you may accumulate up to 3 in your travels.
Gotcha. And it starts at a D10, you said?
Starts at a D10. Yep.
Alrighty.
And that follows your basic item replenishment rules.
Gotcha.
Anytime you roll it, it decrements, and when it's below a D4, you've used it up. Though there are actions, I believe, to repair or modify your items as well.
So, the stress thing, you said I start at 2.
Yes.
So does that mean the first 2 blocks are filled up? Is that what that means? Or
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Because things happen as you progress further and further along your stress track. I have the pre-release version of the game, just before release, but it is the pre-release version of the game. In this, it says to reduce your stress capacity by 2, but that doesn't make any sense because then you would be capped out of the higher stress dangers. So you're always going to start at 2 stress.
Gotcha. So I'm always going to get right into thrumming whispers. That's basically what I'm seeing there.
Well, you.
As soon as
you
I get into
have-
stress.
Yeah, the first stress you gain is going to put you into thrumming whispers. Yeah.
Gotcha. I like my whispers.
Yeah, but if you are following along there, the more stressed out you get, you will be taking cumulative penalties to your skill checks, but you also have the ability to just change reality in varying degrees. So,
Nice.
Thrumming whispers when you are between 3 and 4 stress. When there is a complication, once per use of your deep breath, when there's a complication, you can just change detail about it. So I say, oh no, you found a large pool of caustic acid.
It's a small pool, Jack.
Yeah.
It's actually a pool of congealed porridge.
Yeah, there you go. It's just green jello.
It's beans and toast. Tal's favorite food.
No.
But later on, you can do things like just change gravity. Just like, I can fly now. Means I want gravity to go that way.
Nice.
Okay, so that is items. I can let you guys peruse through all the various rules and all of that. But for character creation, we can flesh out these characters. Each of you get 3 questions from the questionnaire down here.
Ooh. Okay.
So I'd say, since we got 3 of us, and you each have 3 questions, I say you'll be able to choose. You can either roll or choose a question. The other of you 2 will roll or choose a question for that character.
Yep.
And then I will roll or choose a question for that character.
Nice. Yeah. That's very cool.
So,
Okay, so
yeah,
the
Dr.
question
Sabastian Undermoon.
So the question I have chosen for myself is, how do I deal with failure or setbacks in my work?
What is the number for that?
19.
19. All right.
And then for the eye, you're going to get number 7. What was the first major breakthrough in your field?
Well, back in 1602, there was a guy. Oh, you mean specifically my character's first person? Yeah. Okay.
Would you guys like to...
I just had a stupid thought of finding a civilization that spoke like that one species in Star Trek that always spoke in metaphors.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Shaka, when the walls fell.
Yeah.
That's gonna randomly spring into my brain at 3 in the morning.
You're welcome.
Anyway, do you guys want to answer these questions now, or would you prefer the week to think about your characters?
Yeah, I'm thinking on it.
All right.
Yep, I can do mine now. So essentially, his opinion is that it happens so rarely because he is the key person in his field. So failure, it is usually somebody else's fault. And he has a habit of then blaming other people. He doesn't accept personal failure. It's like, I can't fail. I'm really clever. It must be something else or somebody else who's caused something to fail.
The Dr. House approach.
Very much so, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you must be exceptionally proficient in your specialty, because I imagine you are insufferable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. It makes him. He's one of those experts where you go, oh really? What about the second guy? Is he good enough? We contact him? No, we've got to use this guy. Oh.
All right. Well, that could be fun. The Eye, any idea about your first major breakthrough in the field of anthropology?
I think there was a world that that Sampson visited where things seemingly were being built out of like surrounding material by themselves.
So just to clarify the setting.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Perhaps I should have done that first. Even though this is a very sci-fi, eldritch, cosmic, horror-influenced adventure, all of that is sort of stemming from the core, the anomaly in the depths. Up until cough cough months ago, the world is our world. We are on Earth in modern day with our generally normal level of technology. And as things are, you guys aren't really SCP agents. You're not Stargate SG-1. You're not going to different worlds, or you're not used to seeing weird and unusual things.
Gotcha. Okay.
You really are just a regular, really super skillful, like top of your field. But you are just
I was going to say,
yeah.
There is nothing regular about Sabastian.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if Sampson... No. Yes, okay. Breakthrough in this field of anthropology while Earth is still normal. Shit.
Well, I mean, what if he was the man that discovered the missing link?
The missing
link. That missing, hereditary ancestor which exists out there somewhere to link.
Actually, I'll build on that. So instead of finding the missing link, I think that he actually figured out a religion of a proto-human, like Neanderthal. Basically, he was able to unearth some artifacts and write a thesis on what a particular tribe of Neanderthals believed in during their time on Earth.
And then linked it to the Catholic Church?
Yes, it was. They all worship Jesus, and
Okay, so you discovered a prehistoric Neanderthal proto-religion.
Yes.
All right.
Nice. Love that.
Can definitely work with that. Those were Tal's 2 questions. What would you like to throw at the both of you? Yeah.
Covered. Photo. Okay.
This is page 18 and 19. Just 18, actually. 19 is world building stuff, which we will do next.
This might tie into previous thing that you answered, Tal. Have you ever experienced a major failure in your work? Number 12. Yes, you're very full of yourself, but was there a time that there was a problem that you actually did fuck up?
Yes, there was. And he, as a result, it never came to light because he managed to sweep it all under the carpet. So he did a lot of not necessarily blackmailing, but certainly he managed to get rid of any kind of evidence that would trace back to him with regards to this failure, and paid a few people off, made sure that it was buried and that no one would ever know that this failure had occurred.
Okay. But for narrative ammunition, what was that failure? Even though nobody knows.
Ooh. That's a really good question.
You dated a piece of marble wrong.
No. I would say that he failed to calibrate one of the piece of equipment, and so the reading it gave suggested that the sample he'd found was not of earthly origin.
Okay.
As in, nothing had ever been seen like this before, ever.
Okay.
So he, from his point of view, he was set to, and it was buried quite deep. So it'd been there for a very, very long time. But he was set to kind of go, look at this, I've discovered something which no one has ever seen before. The structure is completely different, but actually, it was just because he hadn't calibrated his equipment properly.
Okay, so then you had to go through everybody on the dig site and all the technicians and all the sponsors and whatnot, and find ways to cover up and coerce.
Yep, absolutely.
Bury that report. Nothing weird here.
Okay. Yep.
For me, I wanted to go to number 14. And I think number 14, I'm going to pull from some piece of media for this one. Because of some of the curious things that he's found, he's a version of the character in The Mummy who had all the, religious iconography on him at all times. But he actually believes in it. He believes that there's all these icons have power of some sort, that they all tie back to some universal truth. And they there's some way to put them together where they'll actually bring about some amazing knowledge that nobody else has.
Okay. Sorry, run that by me again. You collect trinkets and believe they mean something.
Specifically religious trinkets,
okay.
Religious iconography.
Okay. From a specific group or from all around the world? Are we going
all around?
Okay.
He has Buddhist symbols, he has Christian symbols, pagan symbols. He has the symbol of the people that he had found, that they used to draw. Yeah.
Okay, so it's sort of that global unified religion theory. They're all somehow stem all from some proto-religion or space invader or something. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I get to pick some questions for you guys. Let's see. I think that'll be fun. Okay, alright. Alright, Tal. This will be question number 3. What is your relationship with your exosuit?
Ooh. Okay.
Can we give a little bit more background on the exosuit specifically?
Yes. So, let's roll down to that beautiful picture of the exosuit. So this is the DSPRT Mark 1, which might mean Deep Subsurface Pressurized Recon Transport, or might also be Dr. De Almeida's Super Protector Robo Toga, or might
I like
just
that one
be
better.
desperate. But that is down on page 28. You have all kinds of different features. It is both a movement aid exoskeleton as well as a sealed environmental suit that's going to take care of temperature and pressure and stuff like that. So you have a transparent titanium helmet with a nice fancy HUD. You have all kinds of sensor panels that you can make use of and bring up. You have wrist-mounted controls that your suit also responds to voice command and does have some. It does have an AI in it, so your suit may have a personality. I will leave that to you guys, whether you want your suits to have individualistic AIs with personality, or if you just have like a stock RoboBrain AI. You have storage tanks for 3D printable material, both organic and inorganic. You have a deployable survival habitat, basically a big fancy tent. You have your external sensor module, so you'll be able to deploy different sensor drones. You have your vital monitoring. You have a flare system, so you can shoot out flares. You have a 3D printer, so you can print pretty much anything you can think of to a certain degree. You can do both organic stuff and organic stuff, but it is sort of this sort of forearm mounted device, so whatever you create needs to be generally a single cubic foot thereabouts, or be a series of single cubic foot pieces that you would then have to assemble, which of course would be more difficult and be a higher check and yada yada. And you have a little Destiny ghost flying around with you, the Beep Bobop sensor companion droid.
Okay, so he considers the suit to be a technological marvel because it allows him to go places that he hadn't been able to go before. He can get kind of instant information and readouts and those things. However, he doesn't like the AI that's integrated because it seems to always almost enjoy picking up, correcting him on minor things. So it's almost like this AI has decided it's going to torment him by correcting stupid things like a mispronunciation or those kinds of things.
I love this.
He often finds that he gets into like arguments with this AI over really stupid things which don't matter, but he doesn't like the idea that this AI thinks it's more intelligent than him.
Okay.
I love this so much.
Yeah. Okay,
Just digging through, and he says something. Goes, actually, Doctor, I believe that's pronounced. It's just like shut up.
And when it really wants to fuck with you, it starts like perusing through your thesis paper, and it's like, wait a minute,
I've detected a
Doctor.
spelling error on page 37.
so we got the guy who absolutely refuses to accept any fault, teamed up with the actually AI.
Yeah,
Love it.
exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh my God, what have I done to myself? Oh, but he loves the suit. The suit's amazing.
Giving Jack a present is what you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Of course, now I'm going to have to find ways to correct you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the eye.
Mhm.
Something a little different for you here. Who did you leave behind on the surface when you joined this expedition?
You said this is modern times, right?
Generally, yeah. I mean, we have stuff like organic 3D printers and generally competent, maybe sentient AI. So, modern day plus a couple decades, but nothing too terribly sci-fi or huge world events or anything.
I think there is a point in his life where Sampson kind of turned away from his career as a scientist and basically started running his own commune.
Oh.
And very hippie, very universalist religion type shit. Started basically teaching other people some of the things that he learned through his own studies, and that's when he was approached and he was kind of taken away from that.
Okay.
He's not exactly sane, and we already kind of figured that out with his already stressed out personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little out there.
I like that tie-in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, despite, I assume, vocally, officially stepping away from your scientific career, you stopped writing research papers, you stopped going out on field expeditions, people haven't seen you in colleges or expos or anything in a while. So you left the scientific community and became some weird commune religious nut, put together your own little cult. Why did they call on you then?
Because he's really good at what he does. That's A. There maybe there's some sort of iconography that has been seen at the site.
Yeah.
That he already has found in this proto-religion, and so they tapped him to, engage with the fact that there's a symbol here we found that your Neanderthals also used. And that's definitely something that would pique his interest. And if that was something that they told him was like, yeah, we think we found your thing somewhere else.
Yeah.
He would be like, oh shit, I can find even more truth now.
The pyramids really were landing pads for alien spaceships.
Yep. Damn. I will say I don't think he's tied into aliens to the Neanderthals.
Yeah.
That's something that he would be approached by on. But yeah, he would probably have to say goodbye to his, 6 wives and 4 husbands, and
Yeah. Right.
it's like I gotta go find the next truth, my loves.
Makes sense.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we'll leave it at that. You guys can definitely feel free to look through the other questions and further flesh out your character if you would like to. Feel free to shoot me any extra details you would like me to be aware of. But before we move on for the evening, the state of the world. All right. So general world building questions. Now, the game pretty much just picks up at the fissure. Whatever has happened, and it's split the earth, and you are just going down into it. And generally, these questions are used to figure out what is right now immediately going on, surface conditions, sort of stuff. The game doesn't really, as I have it at least, doesn't really specify too much into what has led up to this problem. So in my mind, this is an apocalypse level event. The world is literally cracking. It feels like it's some sort of ancient, eldritch, cosmic chick is trying to peck its way through the shell that is the planet. So I imagine that all of this has happened over the course of a few months, but in the course of that few months, there have been massive earthquakes along all the tectonic plates. There's been subsequent tsunamis based on that activity. So whole cities have probably collapsed from magnitude 8, 9, 10 quakes. You have coastlines that are underwater for miles. And you have geopolitical problems associated with, major cities being destroyed, massive casualties, loss of infrastructure. But on the more positive side of things, I am choosing to give humanity the benefit of the doubt here and say that despite the Earth literally tearing itself apart right now, the world is starting to come together. The scientific community and the sort of emergency response community, I think, in my mind, the situation is so bad that even politicians, even businessmen,
are working together.
Warring states or usual political enemies, the US and Russia, India and Pakistan now for whatever reason. But everyone's they gotta come together to solve this problem, and that's where we get the Substratum Protocol. So it's kind of like the original International Space Station idea before it fell apart and became factionalized and all of that. So apocalypse level stuff, but I like the idea that it is bringing people together a little bit. So with that in mind, I think we just do the same thing. You can each either roll or choose a question, and I'll choose one, and we'll flesh that out a little bit more.
I have rolled, and I have got 11. What may happen if the portal is not closed? Quite a big one.
What page is this all on? Sorry.
19.
19, yeah. So, there are obviously lots of theories going around as to what happens if this portal isn't closed. But I guess the prevailing one is probably linked to what some of the more religious groups are talking about in terms of, the fact that this is a judgment day and those kind of things. So it might be the case that an army of darkness will sweep out of this portal and cover the lands in darkness for centuries.
Okay, so you want to introduce into the world that a major cult has arisen, and the prevailing, or like full Handmaid's Tale.
As far as I know, it wasn't us.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay? If it's a bit much, I can dial it back.
I think that might be a bit much.
Yeah, okay. So,
because
if the portal isn't closed, okay.
The game does have that element of like Control-esque, even SCP-esque, sort of Lancer-esque even of.
Can I suggest something, Tao?
Yeah, go for it.
Because it might tie into my thing, which is an answer I wanted to make. I wanted to answer number Lost it now. Number 13. Are there still governments? So my thought to you would be that this, although there is unity, there are still factional powers, right? Like the EU has become a governing body, more, it's federalized basically.
Yeah.
The NAFTA states have basically federalized. They're all under the same powers. BRICS has federalized, and they're all working together. But if this particular project doesn't go off, that's done. The unity's over. And the idea of working together apparently just doesn't work. We fucked up by working together. We need to do things by ourselves again.
I was also thinking, what if it was concerns about the introduction of an external race?
So
Potentially.
I want to keep the beginning of this game grounded in realism, grounded in modern day science and realism, so that as we travel deeper and deeper, that's when we introduce the weird. So right now, surface conditions is there is no weird eldritch cosmic crazy religious nonsense. Mm-hmm. Aliens don't exist. The darkness isn't sweeping over. This is just a geological catastrophe that is happening.
So in that case, the eyes idea sounds much more feasible in terms of this is probably the first test of these united different factions, and this is if it's not closed, then it will be a testament that they can't work together and that actually the idea of them all coming together for a national, for an emergency doesn't quite work. So it's I like the eyes idea on that one, that it's very politically motivated. If we can't close this, then there's a kind of understanding that everyone's going to think maybe potentially go their own way.
Okay. So it has to work, or humanity is going to wind up tearing itself apart before the planet does.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone's got.
And the puppies will rise.
So it's probably like not only a nation's got lots invested in this, but also the money people have got lots invested in this as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's this sense of if this works, great. Everybody's investment and time makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe we're better off doing our own thing.
Right. Okay. Well, I think those two came together. I think those two played off of each other very well. So I might even throw another question at you. Because it was kind of two questions leading into the same answer there, which I think is great. But I want to start with... where was it? I just had it. I know what Dr. Undermoon would say, but number 9, what is a known issue with the exosuit design?
Fucking AI are assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever programmed the AI. A known issue. Okay. What if there's a concern about the beep bow bop in that think.
Be very careful about what you're about to say, because Jack is very.
I know.
It has a problem with its targeting system. Oh, goody.
Not that it would override its, user's commands, but maybe it sometimes thinks it knows better.
Okay, like it has pre-established safety protocols that just sort of automatically happen.
Yeah. So from time to time, it'll be like, you want it to do X, and it's like, that is outside of my programming. And it's just like, oh,
that
come
action
on now.
is inadvisable at this time.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. You have anything to...
But mine's definitely the AI.
Right. You have anything to add or change to that, the AI?
No.
All right. You want to throw another last one in here?
You didn't ask me one yet.
Oh, I thought yours was about the government.
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask me one too. I pick one and then you throw one at me, but that's fine.
Well, yeah. Tal pretty much took that one away, so I will throw one at you then. No, I like that, actually. You each get to pick one, and then I pick one for each of you. That makes perfect sense.
I just came up with another one.
Okay. Well, if you got something, throw it at me.
Number 8. What new social norms can be found at the Fracture Observatory?
I was just looking at that.
I think it has been decided that the international language that was invented in like the 1980s is actually going to start getting instituted. And this is where it starts taking place. Was it the 1980s? When was that made?
I don't know.
Is that what it is, babe? I'll look it up. I think there's a few international languages that have been invented.
So everyone they hire on to this new team has to learn a new language?
Yeah, and it's Esperanto. That is the name of it. It's apparently supposed to be the most easily learned language ever invented.
Okay. So everyone who works at this facility has to learn a new language.
Because they don't want to just say English, because then, it is another step to try to make everybody on equal footing, that, we're not choosing one language over another. This is an international language. We all should learn it so that we don't have to pick one language over another. Right. If all countries are sending their dignitaries, scientists, and whatever to this location, we can't have favorites, right? So...
Okay. So I really like the idea of that and how it ties into what we've already established. How might that actually be cinematic or actionable in any way other than just saying we all speak common now?
I think that there might still be some problems with communication, and there might be some times where, like, if Sampson and sorry, Tal, what's your character's name again?
Sebastian.
Sampson and Sebastian are having a difficulty communicating in the language. They might devolve back to English if they're both from an English-speaking country. And that might like get some looks, or it might cause a taboo within but everybody does it. It's a taboo everybody does, but it's frowned upon.
Okay. I have that added to my world building section, but I'm really going to have to tax my brain to see what I can actually do with that.
Right.
Because it's that's the difficulty between producing an actual show with a script and actors and visuals and subtitles and whatnot. We had 8 months to make this production. You guys could learn the language, and then you could actually drop in and out when things get difficult. But otherwise, you'd kind of just be going through normal dialogue and then say, okay, wait, I'm going to switch to English here, even though I'm already speaking English, because obviously we speak English.
Yeah.
Continue what you're saying, and then go, now I'm back to our common language. It may just get clunky. So I like that it's there in the background.
You're right.
And I think I will try to find ways to reference it, but I don't think it's something that we can really show.
Okay. Is there another one on the list you were looking at for me to answer then?
This one was built for you. This is not your character's response. This is, again, a very, quiet year. We are building the world. So what sort of objective truth are you going to throw at me here? What secret could be discovered down below? It's number 10. And you can get as weird as you want with this. The weirder you get, the lower it goes.
I'm going to say the true
Yeah, don't make it a truth about the portal or the entity or anything, because that
no, that's not what I'm going for. Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to word exactly what I wanted to say. The true way that abiogenesis occurred on this planet. That a good one for you?
Well, I will have to remind myself what abiogenesis means.
How life came to be on planet Earth.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. The truth of how life began.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Would you like to answer that question, or would you like me to answer that question, hide it somewhere?
Oh, Jack, you and I have very dark minds. I don't know if I want to give away the goose, or if I want to just let you take away with it.
Yeah. I will leave that to you.
I think I want you to take away with it, my friend. I think I want to see what you'll come up with.
Okay.
We're gonna run Tal through the ringer.
All right. Well, I get to decide. I literally get to play God and decide how life began on our little blue-green marble. All right. Ancient astronaut theorists say yes. Okay.
9 out of 10 eldritch beings agree.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's all we got. We have our character registration. We got some facts about the world. So, just for a little sneak preview, because there's a loose idea of what you're going to find down there. This facility has been set up for quite a while. They've sent down any number of probes. Unfortunately, these probes are sending back contradictory information. Others they just lost contact with. They're getting lost. They're getting destroyed. But there's some level of understanding as to what you guys are getting into. So you're going to be starting off at the fracture opening, and that's just delving down a pretty standard deep earth cave. You're just going caving. But the next sector after that, there have been signs of potential ancient civilization ruins going down over 600 kilometers deep.
That's far.
Yeah, which is very deep, which means...
Wait, I thought you were American. What's 600 kilometers?
that's fair.
372 miles. 373, technically, if you round up.
There have also been contradictory and just weird reports of areas losing sort of molecular cohesion, things that what's the term when you go from a solid to a gas?
Melting. Oh, from a solid to a gas?
Yeah.
Sublimation.
Yeah. So they're seeing areas of, freak sublimation, melting of things despite heat, or superheated areas that are acting weird. There's gravitational anomalies detected. All kinds of weirdness. And the sort of compilation of the reports.
Really quick,
yeah.
Just to cut in just slightly. So the deepest hole we've ever dug is 1,000 feet, right? Which is 0.18 miles.
Yep.
And we're going 378 miles.
You guys are actually, you're going much, much further than that.
Oh, okay.
Miles. You will be going down, according to this book, and I might check for accuracy later. But the deepest layer is about 5,300 kilometers deep, or 3,300 miles.
Ooh.
Okay. Map.
Good
of
rocks down there.
Earth. Crust.
Which doesn't make any sense. Which probably makes sense. The Earth's core starts at a depth of about 1,800 miles.
So we're going through the middle of the Earth and coming out the other side.
The distance to the actual center of the Earth, where the inner core is located, is approximately 4,000 miles deep.
Okay.
So we're going another 1,000 miles beyond that.
We're going to about a depth of 3,300 feet.
Oh, 3,300 feet or miles?
Miles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting to about 1,000 miles away from the core.
Yes.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Okie dokie.
4,000 miles to the center, and we were going down to 3,300 miles. Yeah,
so 700 miles from the core.
From the actual core, give or take.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot down there.
Yeah. No, this journey is likely going to take the better part of a year or more, assuming you don't run into any strange time nonsense.
Well, I'm sure no strangeness will come of us going that deep.
Yeah. But I did actually look this up. Pressure actually doesn't increase the deeper you go, as long as there is at some point an uninterrupted line of atmosphere between how deep you are and the surface, because the weight of the atmosphere isn't anywhere near the weight of water, so you don't have to worry nearly as much as you would say if you were underwater.
No, it's not pressure, it's heat that you got to worry about.
Yes, heat will probably be a problem, but your desperate suit should take care of that.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can find the final emergency.
So real quick, real quick, what you said we're going? How many kilometers is? How deep is the kilometers again?
Let's see. Depth sectors. We are going down all the way 5,734 kilometers.
Okay, this isn't going to be exact.
Which is 3,562.9 miles.
It's just going to be a balmy 8,540 degrees Celsius,
Cool.
which is how much or that's Fahrenheit.
Fine.
Which is 4,726 degrees Celsius. Yeah, oh, toasty.
4,000 degrees Celsius. I assume that figure is based off of actual geological science, and that at that point you would be down in the molten layer of the core and not free air. Yeah. I imagine, the temperature increases because pressure increases. So if there's a split, I don't know. I spend way too much time trying to make science work in science fiction things, and I don't need to. Why is it not 4,000 degrees Celsius down there? Because there's a portal. Something fucky's going on. It's the whole premise of the game. Okay. Well, I think that covers everything I need for Substratum.
Awesome.